News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
It was a clue in Missoula that may have led to the arrest of a man on 2 Deer Lodge murders. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, December 7th, 2015. Skies cloudy. It's 34 degrees. Roads are mostly bare and wet or bare and dry throughout western Montana. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Damaris Buick GMC, Missoula's People's Choice new car dealer, serving western Montana for 50 years. A man wanted on a probation violation out of Ravalli County has confessed to the murders of a Deer Lodge woman and her adult son. Ravalli County Attorney Bill Fulbright says 53-year-old David Wayne Nelson confessed to the murders of 79-year-old Beverly Giannetti and her 57-year-old son, Gregory.
County Sheriff's Office had received a confession from David Wayne Nelson on the 2 missing persons in Powell County. He confessed to killing both of them, ultimately described where he had disposed of the bodies and took Sheriff Howard to that site for recovery of the bodies.
Fulbright related to one of the facts that led to Nelson being a person of interest in those murders.
Part of the evidence that made Mr. Nelson a person of interest and a suspect was the selling of the bars of silver. So he did sell in Missoula County 17 100-ounce bars of silver that were apparently property belonging to the victims.
Fulbright said Nelson will be returned to Ravalli County to deal with his probation violation and then be returned to Powell County to face charges of kidnapping, murder, and armed robbery. A man has been freed pending a new trial after spending 18 years in prison for the shooting death of his best friend in northwestern Montana. District Judge James Wheelis ordered Richard Raugust released on his own recognizance last Friday. Last month, Wheelis overturned Raugust's deliberate homicide conviction and ordered a new trial in the 1997 death of Joseph Tash. Judge ruled that evidence was withheld during the original trial that could have led to a different outcome. A comment from U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch following the deaths of 14 people and the injuries to 21 others by Islamic extremists has drawn a response from the president of the Montana Shooting Sports Association, Gary Marbut. Lynch said the shootings give us, quote, a wonderful opportunity to make significant changes, end quote. Marbut said the real opportunity is to rid America of so-called gun-free zones.
There is one area in America where gun violence continues to increase despite decreasing everywhere else, and that is those mythical, theoretical, dangerous gun-free zones.
Marbut said government employees, civil servants, teachers, and others who work in gun-free zones should be allowed to protect themselves in a situation similar to that of San Bernardino.
The person who must interdict that kind of problem are the potential victims. And so our position is that those people should not be disallowed the tools, the best tools to be able to defend themselves, and that is firearms.
Lynch was also quoted as saying the killings were, quote, an unspeakable crime, end quote. A Montana man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for shooting a bartender and killing his dog because the bartender made a red beer with clamato juice rather than tomato juice. KECI television reports 60-year-old Monty Hansen of Hamilton pleaded guilty in September to attempted deliberate homicide for shooting Joseph Lewis. Hansen told investigators he became angry because it's against his Jewish religion to drink clamato juice, which is tomato juice flavored with clam broth. Icy roads last Friday appeared to be the cause of an accident in Polson. Police Captain Alan Booth said the accident was actually the result of a faulty emergency brake on a nearby homeowner's vehicle.
He lives across the street from the lake there, and his driveway is a steep incline. So he set the e-brake. It was a truck that he had recently purchased. He set the e-brake because it's a manual transmission, and then it just rolled out.
The vehicle kept on rolling, and Booth said no one was injured.
Parked in his driveway. He went out to warm it up. The emergency brake didn't hold, and it slid down the driveway and into the lake. Nobody in the car at all. He's towing, pulled it out of there, and went to the shop.
Pictures of the truck after it splashed down into Flathead Lake can be seen on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. New Montana laws take effect January 1st that require a license for retailers who sell e-cigarettes and prohibit its sales to minors. The Montana Department of Revenue recommends any retailers currently selling vapor products apply for the sales license on the department's website. The fee for the license application is $5. Well, the Missoula County Attorney's Office has had a busy year, and it's staying busy through the holidays. In November alone, there were 9 trials handled by the County Attorney's Office. Deputy County Attorney Jennifer Clark says each trial requires a great deal of effort.
A lot of preparation time goes into a trial, meeting with witnesses, meeting with officers, scheduling those witnesses to make sure that we can get them in, getting travel arranged if necessary, making sure that the witnesses are ready to testify, making sure we have our evidence, how that is going to come in. There are a lot of legal issues that come up that we also have to address prior to trial, so they're very time-consuming.
Because of the intensity of trials, many cases are pleaded out. A leading cause of busy trial schedule this year is the uptick in a number of serious crimes.
It has been extremely busy. We have seen an increase in our violent crimes, in our partner assault crimes, and our drug crimes. It ebbs and flows like anything, and we're just this year has been a very busy year for these offenses, and we're, looking into it to see if there's any reason why we have an increase in numbers.
Last week, the county attorney's office filed charges on 3 partner assaults involving 1 felony, an assault with a weapon, and assault on a police officer. There were also 2 DUI charges involving criminal endangerment and a child endangerment charge. Clark said it was a light week. A 57-year-old woman has died at a single-vehicle rollover near Laurel in Yellowstone County. Authorities identified the victim as Diane Miller of Laurel. The accident occurred about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon north of Laurel. Miller was pronounced dead at the scene. The Highway Patrol said Miller was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from her vehicle. And a former Anaconda attorney has been sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison for embezzling more than $527,000 from clients and a state chapter of a national association. The Missoulian newspaper reports David Michael McLean was sentenced last Thursday to 42 months in prison. He pleaded guilty in August to wire fraud and identity theft. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors agreed to dismiss 3 counts of wire fraud and 4 counts of aggravated identity theft. McLean's fraud was discovered in July of 2014. He and his son Michael reported the misappropriation of funds to the State Office of Disciplinary Counsel. David McLean was subsequently disbarred by the Montana Supreme Court. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Considerable cloud cover today with a 50% chance of showers. Highs will top out in the mid-40s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Mild tonight with lows right around 40. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.